Dzień dobry wszystkim, jesteśmy pod Custom House w Dublinie. 19 czerwiec 2021 rok. Protest przeciwko obostrzeniom i lockdownowi. Z tej strony Robert z Action Covid 1984. Gościem głównym będzie Dolores O'Cahien i niezależny polityk Ben Gilroy. W tej chwili trwa przemówienie. Dolores wita się ze wszystkimi.
Because the laws have already been created. If people are walking around the streets drinking cappuccinos and burgers, then it shows that they're just plain stupid.
No myślałem, że ci nie będzie, że będziesz później na tym.
But the politicians know what they're doing.
To samo co ja.
High-ranking
Nie ma
police
jeszcze
know what they're doing. And all of the government know what they're doing. So now it's no illusion. This is just by legal over 2 years. Bill Gates said it takes 2 years to get the full effect.
Jak to będzie z
The
tym?
full
Jak się
effect
szkodzi
is your
konsultacji
death.
z tego lekarza?
Because there is no
Co?
special explanation for what's taking place in the world except
55 zł chyba, tak?
genocide. It's the only
60.
thing you can do.
60 w tym jest
Arrested,
wysyłka
naked,
lista,
driven
ale
to
ja będę miał...
Disneyland, and you have to reject it. And reject it as firmly as you can. Because they're coming for you. Your life, your children, your home, your food, your freedom, your cause, your ability to express opinion. They're changing the law, calling it hate speech to express opinion, to express and to express expression of a group. So we reject it, even if it means we are going to be killed. And we're going to do that because that's what it's going to come down to in the end. This winter's going to be a winter like no other. They're going to cut off the electricity. Have no sense. They're already preparing cyber attacks. So wake up. Prepare yourself as much as you can. And warn others not to take that poison. Because poison is what it is. It's proven that it's poison. There is no debate that it's poison. Any proof science rejects it, and there is no science. It is false. How can you have a so-called vaccine that gives no immunization and doesn't stop the spread? It doesn't fulfill the definition of a vaccine. Because it's fake. And it's not even communism. Communism doesn't seek out to inject you with a death poison. And yesterday, the majority took on Birmingham Hospital. And the state didn't know what to do in court. Because he had the fact that it is damaging and it does cause death.
Ja nie mam
And
nic
the
teraz.
judge didn't know what to do. He's a backhand American too. So we will not take that poison. We know what they're doing. And lastly, our government still now represent us. They are so liars. And what's furthermore, they need to be caught. They need to be the rope cord of a hessian rope around their skinny necks for what they're doing and propose to do.
A nie czekasz na Dolores? Ale ona ma wystąpić, ma
Ja
przemówić.
wiem, ale naprawdę mam, wiesz, zaplanowane się parę rzeczy. Chciałem się z nią tylko spotkać, zapytać o jedną rzecz, ale właśnie z nią rozmawiałem i już wiem o co chodzi.
A znasz ją osobiście?
No ja już wcześniej się z nią spotkałem. To jest już drugie spotkanie z nią. Już też mam zdjęcia wcześniej. Ona się pytała teraz, czy się spotkaliśmy wcześniej. Mówię tak, już 7.
O, na tyle osób widziała
Poza tym wiesz, no, chciałem się zapytać o te linie lotnicze, co one są.
No jest ze mną właśnie kolega tutaj, Rafał, sam z naszej grupy. Zobaczcie na stronę teraz. Dolores cały czas się wita tutaj z gośćmi, ściskują się. No właśnie, czekamy na przemowę Dolores. Bo on, tak się mówiliśmy, ja jestem na miejscu, stacjonarnie, on łazi i obserwuje.
Tam stoi.
O, tam wszędzie są.
Dobra, idę się sobie.
Jest, i będziemy w kontakcie jeszcze.
Jak będę, to będę.
Dobra,
Jestem umówiony.
dobra.
And the minks were probably same color.
Vessels on the land at Frickport, and the pirates in their black and white robes, and the guy who puts on the wig thinks he can hide from God.
Well, can you hear me? We're getting prepared to go for a march. You all happy with that? We're looking for volunteers to carry some banners. Volunteers, don't be shy. But the opinion of the violence is no looking forward on the left hand. Alright, there's 2 more minutes to begin getting rock and roll. Now I'm going to start on the road. Okay, great stuff. Anyway, thanks very much for everybody for coming today. We'll talk more later on. You are brilliant.
Aber weitergehen ist die entscheidende Frage und für uns ist die ganz konkret hier und sehr aktuell die Frage: Wollt ihr den Aufzug durch Dresden? Das geht noch besser. Wollt ihr durch Dresden laufen? Das war so gut, da hat sogar die Technik versagt. Einwandfrei. Also werden wir den Aufzug machen. In ungefähr einer halben Stunde geht es dann los. Vorher freue ich mich, euch noch Heinrich und Frank ankündigen zu dürfen. Einen herzlichen Applaus für Heinrich und Frank, die euch und uns sehr interessante Fakten zum Thema Souveränität erzählen werden. Einen herzlichen Applaus.
So, da haben wir schon mal ein Mikro. Einen wunderschönen guten Tag, meine lieben Gäste. Nee, Gäste seid ihr nicht. Ich bin noch kein Gastgeber. Ich bin nur Redner. Also herzlich willkommen, liebe Dresdner und alle, die zugereist sind. Ihr seid hier heute die Auserwählten. Warum? Das sage ich euch. Ihr steht gerade nicht irgendwo in einer Schlange an und lasst euch impfen und das Brandmal des Tieres verpassen. Ihr steht auch nicht in einer Schlange und lasst euch irgendwie testen. Ihr seid hier hergekommen, weil ihr ein ungutes Gefühl habt bezüglich der Dinge, die in diesem Land abgehen. Das ist es, was es euch eint. Ob ihr nun linkspolitisch verortet seid oder rechts oder die Mitte oder weiß der Kuckuck was. Es ist vollkommen egal, ob ihr mal AfD, SPD, CDU oder sonst was gewählt habt. Ihr seid Menschen, die festgestellt haben, dass hier was nicht stimmt. Und euch alle eint eine Sache. Und zwar eine ganz wichtige Sache. Ihr habt alle auf eurem Hintern ein Brandmal. Ein Brandmal, was euch jemand gegeben hat. Der eine von euch wurde als Verschwörungstheoretiker gebrandmarkt, weil er vielleicht mal im Internet über die flache Erde nachgelesen hat und dazu vielleicht auch noch ein paar Dinge geteilt hat auf Facebook und so weiter. Der nächste, der hat von Frau Esken, oder nee, Herr Esken, ich bin mir da nicht so sicher, von der SPD, das Brandmal bekommen, Idiot. Also ein Spitzenpartei-Mensch nimmt sich das Recht raus, Menschen aus der Bevölkerung, und zwar nicht nur ein oder zwei oder drei, sondern eine Gruppe von mindestens 500.000 Menschen, wenn nicht sogar noch wesentlich mehr, als Idioten zu brandmarken. Idiot, hinten auf dem Hintern. Das gehört sich nicht für Politiker, die meinen, für das Volk einstehen zu wollen. Die haben vielleicht ihre Meinung kundzutun, aber mit solchen Sätzen vergiften sie das Klima, das politische Klima bundesweit. Der nächste hat einen Brandmal auf dem Hintern, Nazi. Und dann gibt es noch welche, die heißen Reichsbürger. So, ich bin heute hierher gekommen, um die Reihen zu schließen, um euch alle miteinander zu vereinen. Statt dass wir mit dem Finger auf einen Reichsbürger oder auf einen Verschwörungstheoretiker oder auf einen Covidiot untereinander zeigen, nähert euch an und stellt fest, wer es ist, der euch gebrannt hat. Das ist nicht ein und derselbe, der euch gebrannt hat. Zum Thema Reichsbürger kommen wir jetzt. Mich schmeißt man auch in diese Ecke der Reichsbürger. Gut, lass sie das machen. Wie hat man Jesus noch damals betitelt? Kann man auch machen. Fakt ist, das, was ihr gleich sehen werdet. Die sogenannten Reichsbürger, da heißt es ja irgendwo, ja, die zweifeln die Rechtmäßigkeit der BRD an. Nee, das tut sie nicht unbedingt. Nein. Oder da heißt es, die zweifeln die Existenz der BRD an. So steht sogar geschrieben. Neulich in der Welt. Nee, die Existenz brauchen wir nicht anzweifeln. Die ist ja existent hier mit den Truppen vor Ort. Das sehen wir ja. Da kannst du nichts anzweifeln. Das ist ein Faktum. Das ist die normative Kraft des Faktischen. Mehr ist das nicht. Aber diejenigen Politiker, die uns als Reichsbürger oder Nazis titulieren, da sollte man jetzt mal hinhören, was die selber sagen. Was sagen denn die Reichsbürger? Was sagen die denn? Die sagen, dass das Deutsche Reich nicht untergegangen ist. Habt ihr das schon mal gehört? Das sagen die. Und da werden sie ausgelacht. Dann sagen die auch, dass Deutschland noch besetzt ist. Das sagen die. Ja. Und dafür werden sie Reichsbürger benannt. Da läuft jetzt gleich ein Video. Das solltet ihr euch mal eben angucken. Und dann wisst ihr, wer wirklich die Reichsbürger sind. Nicht wir, sondern wir sagen nur das, was die da gleich zu sehen sind, auch sagen. Und dann habt ihr das erste Paradoxon. Und dann werdet ihr gleich das zweite Paradoxon sehen, nachdem dieser Film abgelaufen ist. Ich wünsche euch viel Spaß bei der Betrachtung der echten Reichsbürger, Politiker, die ihr schon gewählt habt. Dankeschön.
Dankeschön. Schön, dass du da bist. Was Förder, ne?
Ja, aber ich bin Dresdner. Ich war auch durch im Sommer dort angereist, weil in Dresden noch nicht so viel los war.
Ah, ja.
Deswegen waren wir mit dem Förder damals.
Wer wie was, wieso, weshalb, warum, wer nicht was
können. Hier ist das erste deutsche Fernsehen mit der Tagesschau. Auf dem Deutschlandtreffen der Schlesier in Hannover ist heute der Wille zur Wiedervereinigung bekräftigt worden. Der CSU-Vorsitzende Bundesfinanzminister Weigel sagte vor rund 10.000 Menschen, Ziel bleibe die Einheit des deutschen Volkes. Auch die, so Weigel, ostdeutschen Gebiete jenseits von Oder und Neiße gehörten zur deutschen Frage.
Das deutsche Wiedervereinigungsgebot war heute das zentrale Thema des Schlesiertreffens. Auch wenn in Hannover die Einigung Europas als eine wichtige Voraussetzung für ein freies, geeintes Deutschland gesehen wurde, ließen die Redner keinen Zweifel daran, dass dazu letzten Endes der Wille der Deutschen selbst entscheidend sei. Der Hauptredner der heutigen Kundgebung, der CSU-Parteivorsitzende Theo Weigel.
Mit der Kapitulation der deutschen Wehrmacht am 8. Mai 1945 ist das Deutsche Reich nicht untergegangen. Es gibt Es gibt keinen völkerrechtlich wirksamen Akt, durch den die östlichen Teile des Deutschen Reiches von diesem abgetrennt worden sind. Unser politisches Ziel bleibt die Herstellung der staatlichen Einheit des deutschen Volkes in freier Selbstbestimmung.
Ich kenne Leute, die davon reden, dass das Deutsche Reich rechtlich nicht untergegangen ist. Und dazu gehört unser Bundesverfassungsgericht. Und das sagt letztlich, was die Rechtslage ist.
Völkerrechtssubjekt Deutsches Reich. Das Bundesverfassungsgericht hat in ständiger Rechtsprechung festgestellt, dass das Völkerrechtssubjekt Deutsches Reich nicht untergegangen und die Bundesrepublik Deutschland nicht sein Rechtsnachfolger, sondern mit ihm als Völkerrechtssubjekt identisch ist. Und wir in Deutschland Grundgesetz für die Bundesrepublik Deutschland, Artikel 133. Der Bund tritt in die Rechte und Pflichten der Verwaltung des Vereinigten Wirtschaftsgebietes ein.
Jetzt kommt die Fortsetzung, liebe Leute auf der Bühne wahrscheinlich.
Wir müssen uns ja abheben von dem Gespräch gestern zwischen der Kanzlerin und ihrem Stellvertreter, ob sie die Firma vielleicht gemeinsam weiterführen.
Ich sage euch, wir haben gar keine Bundesregierung. Wir haben Frau Merkel ist Geschäftsführerin einer neuen Nichtregierungsorganisation in Deutschland. Das ist das, was sie ist.
Ja, das war das Schaf. So blöken die Schafe und diffamieren uns als Reichsbürger, nur weil wir die Worte wiederholen, die diese Politiker sagen. Wo leben wir hier? Wir leben in einer Okkupationsverwaltung, das ist alles. Und jetzt macht mal Folgendes. Holt euren Personalausweis raus. Holt ihn jetzt raus. Jetzt macht es und liest, was leicht zu lesen ist. Macht es. Allein mit dem Personalausweis, mit der Ausstellung eures Personalausweises beginnt eure Täuschung, eure Lüge. Das System, in dem wir hier leben, hält sich nicht an die eigenen Gesetze. Das wissen wir, weil wir uns mit der Materie schon seit 20, 30 Jahren beschäftigen, schon länger. Ihr merkt es erst seit Kokolores oder Corinna. In eurem Personalausweis steht Name und dann euer Nachname groß geschrieben und dann Vorname. Laut dem Gesetz über Personalausweise und der elektronischen Identitätsnachweis, Personalausweisgesetz, Paragraph 5, muss da stehen Familienname und nicht Name. Wieso stehen diese Ausweise falsch aus? Ganz einfach. Mit dem Namen rutscht ihr ins HGB 17 und seid eure natürliche Person los und geltet hier nur noch als juristische Person, als Firma. Punkt. Da steht es, nach dem Gesetz müsste der Personalausweis den Familiennamen ausweisen. Tut es bei niemandem, der einen Personalausweis besitzt. bei keinem. Und jetzt macht mal Folgendes. Geht mal zurück in eure Ausweisbehörde und knallt ihnen das Ding auf den Tisch und sagt, hey, das Scheißding ist laut Gesetz falsch ausgestellt. Dann macht dann ein Rennen mit. Die Leute, die da in den unteren Etagen sitzen, wissen nichts, gar nichts. Dann wird der Wissende eventuell geholt. Der Wissende ist derjenige im Amt, der über alles Bescheid weiß. Naja, und der wird vielleicht dafür sorgen, dass irgendwelche Herren in schwarz gekleidet euch nett rausbegleiten. Das ist Alltag auf den Behörden für all jene, die Gesetze einfordern, die für uns gelten sollten und auch für die Behörden gelten sollten. Das ist Alltag hier. Wir leben in einer Willkürdiktatur und mehr ist es hier nicht. Der Weg daraus ist entscheidend. Wir haben nur genug über Corona gehört. All das, was hier möglich ist über Corona, verdanken wir nur dieser Unrechtmäßigkeit dieses Systems, dieser Unrechtmäßigkeit, die schon von Anfang an beginnt. Euer Grundgesetz ist für ein Popo. Für nichts anderes ist es da. Denn was da drin steht, gilt für uns alle gar nicht. Das wird gleich hier der Frank erklären. Ich bin jetzt durch. Ich bin jetzt durch hiermit. Wacht endlich auf! Die Lösung ist folgende! Wir müssen in unsere Heimat zurück! Dort, wo wir wieder am Bodenrecht sind und nicht im angelsächsischen Admiral's Law Seerecht, wo wir von Geburt an letztendlich schon tot sind. Wir brauchen die Rechtsfähigkeit ab der Geburt. BGB 1, 1. Januar 1900. Reingucken, lesen und verstehen. Da müssen wir hin zurück! Und aus dem Rechtskreis des Deutschen Reiches von 1871 bilden wir unsere Zukunft neu. Wir editieren die alte Verfassung, brauchen keine neue Verfassung. Wir nehmen das alte Fundament, die Wurzeln des Baumes, die nehmen wir und bauen darauf eine neue blühende Pflanze, Deutschland, auf. Und ohne Wurzeln, meine Lieben, kann kein Baum den leisesten Hauch Wind widerstehen. Das geht nur mit guten, festen Wurzeln. Und wir sind entwurzelt worden. Das haben die mit uns gemacht.
Ja, danke schön, Heinrich. Schönen guten Tag nach Dresden. Mir als Sachse ist es eine Ehre, dass ich bei euch heute sprechen darf. Und bevor ich zur Lösung komme, möchte ich ganz einfach auf die zukünftigen Wahlen eingehen. Und mir wird ja nachgesagt, ich bin ein Paragraphen-Heini, deswegen bringe ich euch Paragraphen sichtbar. Wer darf denn wählen bei uns in der Bundesrepublik Deutschland? Paragraph 12. Wählen darf jeder, der Deutscher im Sinne des Grundgesetzes Artikel 116 ist. Artikel 116. Deutscher ist, wer die deutsche Staatsangehörigkeit besitzt. Normalerweise erzähle ich jetzt eine kurze Geschichte noch dazu, ich mache das jetzt aber ganz kurz. Bitte weist mir eure deutsche Staatsangehörigkeit nach, ohne den einzigen Nachweis der Bundesrepublik Deutschland über diese. Und ich gebe euch alles, was ich besitze. Das sage ich seit 2015 öffentlich und ich besitze immer noch alles. Wer das erkannt und verstanden hat, bei dem sollte ein Aufschrei erfolgen. Wie kann es sein, dass Politiker, die niemals gewählt worden sind, Gesetze gegen uns beschließen? Erkennen und verstehen. Glaube nichts, prüfe alles. Es gibt nur eine Wahrheit und die steht geschrieben. Und es liegt an jedem Einzelnen, nichts zu glauben und die Wahrheit zu finden, damit wir mehr werden. Damit wir freie Menschen werden, weil nur gemeinsam zusammen und miteinander werden wir
Tam na placu byli.
Dank an Frank und Heinrich für diesen interessanten Einblick in die, oder für diese interessanten Ansichten zur Souveränität Deutschlands, die ja von, ich sag mal so, wie wir in dem Videobeitrag ja gesehen haben, die unseren Politikern gar nicht so unbekannt sind, um es mal vorsichtig auszudrücken. Und damit kommen wir zum nächsten und letzten musikalischen Beitrag für diese Versammlung von Jan Song King. Ein herzlichen Applaus für Jan Song King. Achso, etwas muss ich vorher kurz noch sagen zum Aufzug. Wir werden also den Aufzug ja gemeinsam gehen. Da gibt es dann auch ein paar Auflagen, die hatte ich noch vergessen und die muss ich euch jetzt nochmal ans Herz legen. Das heißt, wir folgen dem Führungsfahrzeug. Ja, wir werden keine Straßen blockieren oder ähnliches. Wir werden auch während des Aufzuges die Abstände einhalten und die Masken tragen. Es wird vorne einen Bereich geben für die Maskenbefreiten. Und wir werden nicht von der Route abweichen und den Verkehr nicht behindern, indem wir dann also aus dem Aufzug ausbrechen oder ähnliches. Das soll soweit zum Aufzug gewesen sein und damit jetzt Jan Song King, es ist deine Bühne. Einen herzlichen Applaus für Jan.
So, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So, wir haben jetzt ganz...
Kannst du noch bitte noch Bescheid sagen, dass Sie vorne Flyer abholen können?
Ja, vorne können Flyer abgeholt werden. Das soll ich noch Bescheid sagen. So, ja, ganz schnell jetzt, ihr blüht ja schon. 3 kleine Titel, ganz neu, Pandemie-Charts, Top 3. Auf dem 3. Platz das Jugendforscherkollektiv Juli. Die haben einen Preis gewonnen in der Kategorie Sozialforschung und die haben ein Interview gemacht mit einem Verschwörungstheoretiker. Das geht so. Ist es wirklich schon vorbei? Kommt da noch was hinterher? Sehe ich die Sache richtig oder täusche ich mich sehr? Wenn ich insgeheim vermute, dieser Wahnsinn endet nie, denn mir schwant da eine neue Verschwörungstheorie. Die perfekte 4. Welle, die perfekte Mutation, das ist alles schon in Planung. Davon reden Sie doch schon, die perfekte 4. Welle schwappt im Herbst über das Land. Wieder eine geile Zeit für die Obrigkeit. Die perfekte 4. Welle. So, mal ohne Wiederholung, zack, zack, Nummer 3. Und auf der 2 haben wir ein junges Mädchen, das heißt, früher war sie mal jung. Und sie heißt Nicole, sie hat mal einen Preis gewonnen mit einem Lied, das sie heute immer noch singt. abgekürzt, das war die Nummer 2, Nicole. Und auf der 1 haben wir einen investigativen Journalismus, der dem Intensivbettenschwindel auf die Spur gekommen ist. Achso, es ist Jürgen Drews, ich vergaß. Sommerabend, ich hab mit dem Mädchen Spaß. Auf einmal fragt sie, ob ich mich impfen lass. Ich sage nein und sie sprach, da lebe ich doch total gefährlich. Dann krieg ich Covid und erkrank daran schwer. Und vielleicht gibt's dann kein Intensivbett mehr. Doch ich lachte und sprach, die verarschen dich von vorn bis hinten. Ein Intensivbett, das ist immer frei, was die erzählen, ist eine Sauerei und die Statistik lassen die eiskalt manipulieren. Ein Intensivbett, das ist immer frei, doch wenn's um Geld geht, ist mit der Wahrheit vorbei. Ich muss dir wirklich zu deiner Gutgläubigkeit gratulieren. Und jetzt alle mit! Na 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 na. Und die Statistik lassen die eiskalt manipulieren. Ein Intensivbett, das ist immer frei, doch wenn es um Geld geht, ist mit der Wahrheit vorbei. Ich muss dir wirklich zu deiner Gutgläubigkeit gratulieren. Jugendtricks ab der 1 diese Woche, komplett neu. So, das war's für jetzt. Wir machen endlich den Schatten hier. Bis bald. Ja. CDs sind wohl auch noch da. Jetzt mit 15 Titeln. Tschüss.
Ja, vielen Dank, Jan. Und leider müssen wir auf die Zugabe verzichten, denn wir müssen auf die Zeit schauen. Ups, jetzt haben wir hier das Kabel noch im Schnellverfahren entfernt. Folgendes noch, genau, die CDs gibt es hier vorne vom Jan und natürlich auch T-Shirts und Infomaterial. Als nächstes möchte ich jetzt Daniel, die Selina, Entschuldigung, und den Nils begrüßen. Daniel aus Hamburg, er wird sein Schulprojekt vorstellen. Der Nils aus Leipzig möchte auch noch 3 Worte sagen. Einen herzlichen Applaus für die beiden.
Achso, ich dachte schon, das ist Schweiß.
Selina!
So schlimm ist es nicht. Okay. Gut, gute Idee, abgeben.
Ja, also ich muss mal, ich versuche es ganz kurz zu machen, weil es ist echt warm und ich habe jetzt so ein paar Sachen gehört, die würde ich gern, also da habe ich eine andere Meinung dazu. Erinnert ihr euch an den 1.8. in Berlin, als wir den Aufzug gemacht haben, wie viel Grad Temperatur waren da? War es da ähnlich warm wie heute? Ja. Genau, das habe ich mir für uns auch gedacht. Ich glaube nicht, es liegt an der EN, weil er guckt sich das überhaupt nicht an. Von uns niemand. Dann liegt es auch nicht an die Temperaturen, sonst wären am 1.8. auch keine Leute gekommen. Nein! Ich sage, es liegt daran, dass in den letzten Monaten erfolgreich durch die Jungs in Blau und ihre Befehlshaber, vor allem durch die, versucht wurde, unsere Demokratiebewegung zu zerschlagen. Und jetzt erzähle ich euch was aus Leipzig. In Leipzig ist es so, wir dürfen schon 2-3 Wochen länger wieder machen. Und die Leute, die kommen, die sind sehr vorsichtig, weil sie keine Lust auf polizeiliche Maßnahmen haben. Die haben jetzt gemerkt, ach Mensch, es ist doch eigentlich wieder so wie letztes Jahr und es kommt immer mehr und immer mehr. Und ich denke, das wird hier in Dresden auch passieren, weil dieser Widerstand ist nicht tot. Der hat nur keine Lust, sich verprügeln zu lassen. Genau, und dann, also, als ich heute auf den Platz gekommen bin, ich habe mir einen Eiskaffee geholt. Und dann komme ich hier auf den Platz und der hat gefragt, ob ich hier eine Maske aufsetzen soll. Da muss ich mich fragen, ob... These
going where you think we're going.
No, I know that.
Can we put his legs like this? They'll get fucked up down there now. They're listening to the wrong people. Every single time they've done it. Every single time.
Good man, yeah. On się tu kłócą, niestety. Jeden chce skręcić w lewo, drugi chce w prawo i tyle. No. I tak to się...
We do it, we take them in the hood, the main fucking street in Dublin, the GP fucking out! Safety, Molly, what to say February 27th, Paul? What are we doing about it? Why show us to look at these fucking Eagles? Who's leaving now? All of us! Why are we here? Because we're being left out. Think it's gonna fucking change? Trying to make some fucking noise! Yeah!
Mario Buchner, ne? Schon lange davon gesprochen, dass Querdenken, ich denke mal, so sehr geschäftsmäßig auftritt, bei diesem unseren Anliegen hier den Systemwechsel herbeizuführen in den Köpfen der Menschen. Beine helfen wollt, der liegt gerade am Boden. Holt bitte keinen Zwang an. Ohne euch würde es wirklich nicht klappen. Und insofern unterschätzt nicht, wie wichtig euer Beitrag sein kann. Es ist nicht so, dass ich hier regelmäßig Spendenkriege an Tagen, an denen ich überhaupt nicht online bin, überhaupt nichts rein. Selbst an
Der
Tagen,
hat jetzt. Okay, seid ihr bereit? Dann, wo ist das Banner?
sehr, sehr stark.
Wo ist das Banner? Ilona, wo ist das Banner? Wir brauchen noch das Banner.
Wertvoll war, für euch wichtig war, zeigt euch bitte erkenntlich. Ich sag's ganz offen, es ist ohne euch geht's nicht.
Sekunde.
Bis jetzt
Ilona,
hat kein
wo ist
einziger
das
Mensch
Banner?
sich während dieser Sendung
Ja, da kommt das
auf PayPal
Banner.
erkenntlich gezeigt.
Da sehe ich schon jemanden. Ich brauche noch einen Ordner, der das Banner
Sollte ich irgendwann
mitträgt.
mal offline sein und nicht mehr zurückkommen können, weil es sich
Hier,
einfach auch
komm
für mich
her mit dem Banner.
wirklich überhaupt nicht mehr vereinbaren lässt
So,
mit meiner
ja, 2 Ordner bitte
Restriktivität.
zu
Dann
ihr.
werdet ihr das noch.
Oder Friedensstifter wahlweise. Oder einfach nur
Danke
Demonstranten.
für diejenigen, die ja, mitinformieren
Ja,
und
danke.
hier auf allen Kanälen gleichzeitig gucken und unter anderem uns
Annette,
jetzt
kannst du
mitteilen
mit?
konnten, dass Hannover
Fragen?
aufgelöst
Gut,
worden ist.
okay.
Kann es sein, dass heute etwas in Leipzig ist? Ich
Ach
habe
so.
die Ehrenfrau streamen sehen und sie hat aus Leipzig gestreamt, aber ich weiß nicht, ob sie da nicht etwas gerestreamt hat. Ursprünglich wollte sie ja nach Berlin fahren. Insofern, ich bin total verwirrt. Ist Ehrenfrau in Berlin gewesen? Ja, nein. Gab es etwas in Leipzig? Ja, nein. Wenn das, was als Leipzig betitelt war auf ihrem Kanal, tatsächlich Leipzig war, warum
Vor
ist
dem
dann
Banner
Nils
laufen die
Venus,
Maskenbefreite
inklusive seiner
und hinter dem
Anfangs
Banner
hier in
die
Dresden,
Maskenträger.
anstatt seine eigene Stadt zu unterstützen?
Da sind noch mehr Banner.
Viele Fragen, liebe Leute, und ich hoffe,
Ihr könnt auch noch mehr Banner tragen, wenn ihr wollt. Wer noch einen Banner tragen möchte, wir haben hier noch eins. Genau, so. Das sieht soweit schon gut aus und dann kann es auch...
So, hier bereiten wir den Auftritt vor. In der Haut der Polizisten möchte ich heute nicht stecken. Es ist unglaublich heiß.
Richtig, genau. Auch die Polizei bat mich auch gerade nochmal darauf hinzuweisen, dass auch beim Aufzug natürlich Mundschutz und Abstände einzuhalten sind. Bitte macht damit der Aufzug auch nicht angehalten werden muss. Vielen lieben Dank. Jetzt warte ich gerade nur noch auf ein Kabel. Robin, bist du schon? Hast du schon? Und dann kann es nämlich losgehen. Robin, mein lieber Robin, bring mir das Kabel. Sonst fange ich an zu singen. Da kommt er schon gerannt, applaudiert für unseren Robin, unseren Techniker, der das heute hier zusammen mit dem Wonne alles gemeistert hat. Und er bringt das richtige Kabel mit.
Vorne sind die jungen geimpften Polizisten, die jetzt schon ohne Maske ran dürfen und ohne Sicherheitsabstand und vor allen Dingen ohne viel Fernstand. Hauptsache schön in Reihe und Glied. Nichts hinterfragen, alles mitmachen und direkt von der Rekrutenschule hier sofort in den Dienst springen. Und Demonstrationspflicht oder auch nur der Notwendigkeit, eventuell mal zu hinterfragen und dann eine Konsequenz zu treffen, die mit Demonstration vereinbar wäre.
Zwei Männer, ein
Ja,
Ding
davon
mehr.
sind diese Herrschaften sehr weit entfernt.
Mehr sage ich dazu nicht. Okay, und damit geht's los. Du steuerst die Musik, okay? Los geht's!
Ja, ihr bleibt vorne, ihr bleibt vorne. Die Frage, die du mir gerade stellst, eine kurze Überlegung und das ging alles echt schnell. Ist nein. Nein, nein, nein und einfach nein. Jetzt sei mal nicht beleidigt, hast mich schließlich gefragt. Die Antwort gilt auch morgen. Ich mach's dir noch mal klar. Sie ist nein. Nicht vielleicht einfach nein.
Wer will sich impfen lassen?
Nein, ich will das nicht machen, denn ich hab keine Zeit. Und ich wusste nicht, wo du das bist. Hast doch nicht gefragt.
Właśnie kabratów poznałem tutaj Polaków z tej części Irlandii. Pogadaliśmy, kontaktami się wymieniliśmy. Także jest około 10 osób z Polski mniej więcej, tak. To jest grupa polska też, jak zawsze, na protestach. Nie zawodzi. Tutaj też się panowie też pokłócili między sobą. Jeden chciał iść w lewo, drugi w prawo i jakoś tak nie wiem, tam prawie że się pomylili.
gehört. Ja, der Bauchlein. Ich habe ja euch Hannover ist aufgelöst worden. Laut Infos von euch.
Hello. Hello, dear friends. I'm in Lviv, near the big stadium. It's rainy, strong rain, and I can't go out now from my car to show you the stadium. But it's empty today because they changed schedule of vaccination, and now they will vaccinate people on this stadium from Monday till Friday, because before that, in the western region in Ukraine, this huge vaccination center was working on weekends. So on Sundays, on Saturdays, people could come and get a jab. But what I must say that not too many Ukrainians go to get vaccines. Only those who want to go to Europe, to travel to Europe, to work in Europe, and those people who are brainwashed with propaganda. Next week, Tuesday, I will make video for you, and I will show how everything is going on here, how it works, what people say, what doctors say, and I will present this video to Europe. And that's it, what I would like to show you today. Unfortunately, I didn't know that the center will be closed. But hope to see you next week. Thank you. Studio.
Jak oni się zatrzymują? Chyba tak, no ale posyp. Ciekawe. Nie masz tak. Ile tych busów? Nawet iPhone. O, jeszcze. Co tu przyszło? 300 może nie? No może trochę więcej. Ja myślę, że ze 2000. Poluję.
Tygi nie oszukasz, my możemy manipulować. A ja widzę 200 tysięcy.
Ja to widzę milion. Okej.
No, już no.
Chwileczkę. Ale jak przerywa, to wyświetla, nie?
nadzieję.
A myślę, że można było... Ale tak napiszą, że 50 osób przyszło.
Żeby zrobić jakiś wynik, trzeba by było mieć, nie? Żeby się dobrze odgadywać.
Nie, że będzie dobrze słychać.
Oczywiście. Nie wiem, czy jesteś, no ale okej. Chyba to już czekajcie na... Nie. Będziemy nagrywamy tylko to, co się dzieje w studiu. Także coś innego.
Pójdzie weter gdzieś. Właściwie gdzieś w niebie. Nie ma problemu, zdarzalne wywiady zadawać, gdzie bateria była, albo miałem też, że nie wiem, włączyć nagrywania.
No, ale możesz nawijać, bo ludzie...
Mogę nawijać, tak? No dobra,
jak będziemy nawijać, dadzą nam głos, albo na przykład będzie ktoś inny, to mogą dać nam głos tylko, czy będziemy słyszeni, a inni nie, wiesz?
Tak jest, tak jest. Czyli albo nie. To jest loteria. Dobrze, że nie ma do wygrania. Nie mamy elektrycznych samochodów, 1 000 000 złotych od Radzieckiego.
Jak cię sprawdzisz, to cię będzie słychać.
A pytanie, czy tam jest loteria?
Była gdzieś tam na tych hospitalach, byli jakieś tam loterie.
A jakie nagrody?
Ja widziałem raz takie ogłoszenie, szczerze. Nie jestem pewny 100%. Troszeczkę z tyłu tam ludzi.
Model nie są agresywni.
Okay.
Co najwyżej są źle spojrzenie. Jak się niesie taki aktyw wydający.
Kolega nam jest dalej. Roberto chyba jest dalej.
Kochani, jest tu kilkaset osób, 500 osób, co najmniej. Może i więcej. All street! All street! All street! All street! All street! All street! Fight you, no digging! Fight you, no digging! Fight you, no digging! Fight you, no digging! Ja myślę, że tu będzie przemowa chyba Dolores.
I'm out there standing, you're not going to get it. I want to get the photo credit. Anyone there? Say a small chant across the city. Going good.
Hello. So can you hear that? Hello. All right, can you hear that?
Get a picture, bud. Buddy, did I get the picture?
Can we have the speakers, please? The speakers come to the council, please. Speakers. All right.
Smile.
Jamie! Right. Jamie! Somebody give Ben a push, please. Spread out a little bit, please. Spread out. Spread out a little bit so you can get to hear the speaker, okay? Spread out a little bit. Maybe open the cameras as well. Spread out a little bit, spread out. Not over here. Up. Come on, remember, spread out.
I don't even know what they're saying.
Okay, the sound is great, so you're going to have to pay attention and listen quite attentively. Let's get the sound here.
Push in! Push in!
Alright guys, come on here. Apart from, come on here, that's me. Come on here. Okay, for those of you who can't see it, it's been recorded now, so you can look back at it later on, okay?
Doctors, surgeons who wear masks and more like I didn't know that.
Okay.
You know her, LA. LA.
Okay. For very sensitive reasons, we're not going to get too much into the nitty-gritty, but Tom would like to say a few words. Hello everyone. Firstly, I'd like to thank everyone who supported me and my children in the last 7 weeks. Now, for legal reasons, I can't go into the details of the events in my family home on the 1st of May. I'm still looking for answers to what happened that night, but haven't found any yet. My children are currently being schooled in France, and the school that they are attending believes that they are more medically qualified than their doctor, and they can overrule a medical cert exempting my children from wearing a face mask. My children are also being forced to wear masks in shops and even outside on the street. This is nothing more than child abuse. Now, there's nothing more that I would love to do right now than to return to France. But unfortunately, I can't return there, as a criminal complaint was made against me to the police there for doing what countless other parents in France did last November, when the French government announced that children from the age of 6 would be forced to wear face masks both inside and outside of school, and took their children out of school and homeschooled them. I personally had the advantage of living outside of France and had the option of enrolling them in a school here in Ireland where they could continue their schooling and where they could breathe freely. For the past 6 weeks, I've been pursuing Monsieur Carter, the French police, my solicitor in Boston here in Ireland, my lawyer in France, the Irish Embassy in Paris, the French consulate, and Ambassador Vincent Guérand here in Dublin, Simon Coveney, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Heather Humphreys, the Minister for Justice, along with many others who do not seem to care about the welfare of 2 young children. I was advised by both the French consulate and the Department of Foreign Affairs to contact my local Garda station and request a welfare check to be carried out in France via Interpol channels. So on the 3rd of June, I went to my local Garda station and reported my concerns to the guards there. The following day, I phoned the Garda and the sergeant for an update twice, and neither were able to give me an update. I then had to go to the extreme of driving up to Garda headquarters in the Phoenix Park in Dublin to demand to make a statement, which was also live streamed on my Instagram account. After about 5 or 6 hours, the guard at the front gate finally managed to arrange for a Garda, or I won't mention his name, to take a statement from me in Capra Garda Station. I have tried on numerous occasions to contact the Guard who took my statement since then to receive an update as to whether Interpol was contacted and whether the French authorities have carried out the welfare check as requested, but have received no response. Any time that I have called Capra Garda Station, I've been informed that the Guard was out on a call or that he would call me back. 2 weeks have now passed since I made that statement, and I have not heard from that Guard who took my statement, nor received any update as to whether the welfare check was carried out, which I do not believe was, as from telephone conversations I have had with my children, whom I believe to be suffering physical and psychological abuse and are in an intolerable situation. Yes. 7 weeks have now passed since my children were abducted and kidnapped. This is the only term that I can use, as I know my solicitor have received any explanation, justification, or paperwork into the events that took place in our family here on the 1st of May. And I feel now that I am completely powerless to protect my children, as any father has a right and duty to do so.
Yes!
Since Monday, I have built and I have exhausted every legal avenue available to me to protect my children. And I have now lost the will to eat, and it is now 6 days since I have eaten. I first lost the will to eat 7 weeks ago, when I received serious threats that my children will be placed into a situation of danger on the 28th of April. After 7 days, I forced myself to start eating again, so as have the strength to do everything in my power, through legal, diplomatic and political channels, but I feel my concerns have fallen on deaf ears. As I said, I believe that every legal avenue available to me to protect my children has now been exhausted, and I will not find the will to eat now until my children are safely returned to me and no longer have to suffer the abuse that they are going through now. Thank you very much, everybody. Sorry about the sound system, it's not the greatest. Our sound technician, who was supposed to arrive today, didn't. Anyway, so the next speaker we have. Where are my speakers? Lisa. So the next speaker is Lisa. Lisa King, former activist. Let me have a listen to Lisa. We all here. Oh, good.
Hello. How you doing? Good. My name's Lisa King. I'm from County Down, and I'm a mother, and I'm a wife, and when the lockdown happened in January, up in Ulster, myself, Dr. Ann McCluskey, William Stewart, Martin Donnelly, and many others started to meet because we knew that there's a time when you need to stand up, and there's a time when you need to stand together. So we got together, and no matter what our backgrounds were, what we believed in, religious-wise, or anything like that, we came together and we formed the Freedom Alliance on the island of Ireland. Because we came together for brothers and sisters, and we wanted to protect our children. So when we got together, we agreed that we were not going to form another political party because the party is over. wanted to protect our inalienable rights. We wanted to protect the freedom of movement. We wanted to protect the right to life. We wanted to protect the freedom of assembly, freedom of speech.
Yes.
And I know that's why you're here today too. So what we did is bring our skills together and look at how we could stand up, how we could protect those rights, and more importantly, how we can protect our children.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be here today to tell you how this ends. I'm here to tell you how this begins. Freedom is an inside job. When I began to stand up for my children, my friend came to me and we were talking and I said, oh my God, these people in authority, they're all lying to me. And he said, are they public servants? And I said, yes. And he said, there are servants and there's a master. Which one are you? And I said, if they're servants, then I'm going to be the master. And he said, act like it.
Yes.
And that's what we need to do. We need to start standing in our power. We need to start standing up.
Yes.
We don't take orders from these people.
No.
We give the orders.
Yes.
They are our public servants.
Yes.
For too long, we have acted like they are in charge instead of we are in charge. We need to stop complaining and start acting.
Yes.
One thing that I found through this when I was standing up for my children was that what I thought was the government was not the government.
Yeah.
What it was a series of corporations.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And I'm going to let you into a little secret. The Constitution does not give you rights. The Constitution only protects your rights. We all have inalienable rights. They were given to us at birth. They're God-given. Nobody can take those away. So myself, Ann McCluskey, Dolores Cahill, and many other people have sent in notices of liability for harm and death.
Yes.
We've sent them in the north, we've sent them down here. We have to hold these people accountable.
Yes.
I'm asking you today to educate yourself.
Yes.
We need to learn on how we can fight back peacefully, strongly, and with the rule of law.
Yes. Yes.
Common law is there for us to use.
Yes.
We just need to get together and do it as one.
Yes. Yes.
We are much more powerful than we have ever been led to believe. We are under a vicious psychological attack at the moment. And what we need to do is stand together and stay strong. And we need to have clear minds and calm hearts as we go forward. We are the ones that we have been waiting for. It's us. I'm going to close tonight with a man who inspires me every single day. He's Martin Luther King Jr. And in 1963, he talked of freedom, and he talked of a dream he had. His dream was that one day all of God's children would hold hands together. Black men, white men, Jews, Gentiles, Protestants, and Catholics. Yeah. I'm saying to you today, that dream is realized. You standing here, we have realized that dream. What the powers that were would like us to think that we haven't. They would like us to think that our hearts aren't pure and full of love. I know everyone here today is acting out of love. Yes! It's our love for our children and for each other that is going to help us in the days ahead. Yes. Because freedom does not exist unless you're willing to use it. Freedom is in your mind. If you think you're free, you are. So I am going to end with these words of that old spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we're free at last.
Oh, wow. Great to be. I know the sound isn't great, but as I said earlier on, tonight, today, this afternoon, when you're in the pub, or wherever you are, log into Yellow Vest Ireland. We've live streamed on Yellow Vest Ireland, and you can watch back on the live stream. I'm going to introduce our next speaker to us, the wonderful Professor Dolores Scott.
It keeps me going. So as always, I'm just going to say we have a little repeat. Okay, so what I would like you to repeat is, and following on from the wonderful Elisa Keane, our sister, and all of our friends in the Freedom Alliance from the island of Ireland. The party is over, but the party is just beginning for all of us. So just the theme of my speech today is, and if you will repeat, I'll say the 3 lines and then you can repeat. We are all one family. We are free. Come join me on this journey. We are all one family. We are free. Come join me on this journey. So I'm just going to review where we've come from in the last year, what we did in the last week and how that is going to make a difference, and where I see us going in the future. So I suppose in the last year, for those of you who are wondering where we are, this is like a marathon, and we are at the end of the first mile of the 26 miles. This is a long journey. And if you go on to Lewis Cahill Telegram today, you will see that they are now putting up mortuary services and preparing for excessive deaths in the next 4 years amazingly until the 21st of June, the summer solstice in 2025. So I'm only mentioning that some of us who were in our interviews saying that they would not make prevention and treatment available, they would censor people and they would say the only way out of this was an mRNA injection that would cause harm and illness. We know there's over 1.5 million injured people in the EU alone, according to Eurovigilance, the European Medicines Agency, and over 13,000 people dead. And all of these mRNAs are in a clinical trial, and normally in the whole world, if 50 people died, the clinical trial would stop. So in the past year, for those of you that are awake, it has been, in a way, like me for the past 20 years, a horrible experience, because we know what's going on. We know that the governments, the people who are charged with keeping us and our children healthy, like the Minister for Health, like the chair of the National Immunization Advisory Committee, like the Attorney General, the Minister for Justice, and indeed on the steps of the GPO, our President, Michael Higgins, and our Taoiseach, Micheál Martin. But the reality of the past year is a year of lies, a year of deceit, a year of reputational damage, and a year of fracturing of the very fabric of Irish society. Because the teachers are there to look after our children. The doctors are there to prescribe life-saving treatment in order to keep our loved ones alive. The doctors are there to give treatment. The police are there to investigate deaths like the 26 elderly and their loved ones that died within weeks of injection in one care room out of 51. The regulators are there to ensure that what has been injected is on the description, that the people, the diagnostic labs that are testing PCR are there to check the test is specific, because that's what we pay for. That's what we pay them for. We pay their salaries, we pay their pensions, we pay for the tests, we pay for the injections. And we have RTE and the media and the social media that you let them make money by giving them your business. And the politicians, most of all, who tell you that they will protect you and look after you in the pandemic. But all of these people have been deceiving you. So sadly, the past year for those of awake have been torture. Obviously, it has been torture for our loved ones who are locked in their homes unnecessarily. But really, it had to get this bad because the people who are not aware of the decades of lies and deceit had to see it with their own eyes, because they just have not been given the skills to critically assess. And you can do a degree on how the propaganda and the manipulation, and how on many of the committees of the governments, they have psychologists on to teach you lies and repeat it. And that includes all of the masks, all of the plastic shields, all of the signage. If there was a real pandemic, you wouldn't need all of that propaganda. You'd actually know someone. Okay. So now I will come to, so this is in a way, it's sad. So now we're coming to where we are now. And as you know, for the past year, we've all been very busy. So I'm very proud to have founded since July and to be one of the organizers in Trafalgar Square and set up the World Doctors Alliance, which is there are good doctors there. So there's over 150,000 nurses, doctors, and whistleblowers and scientists all signed up to the World Doctors Alliance. And those doctors, so the good news is that we've all been in shock for a year. All of the doctors, and many of them who are trying to save lives, have been intimidated and bullied and coerced into things like not giving water to people who are dying, You would not do that to an animal. And they have left your loved ones and mine in the care room. And it seems to me it is contributory manslaughter. If people that have roles as nurses and doctors and care room owners do withdraw life-saving medication and water and food under the guise of an influenza where there are prevention and treatment. So we are one family. We are together. Please join me on this journey of truth, okay? We are one family. We stand together. Come and join me on this journey of truth. So what they have done in the past year for me and for you is to coerce you, to intimidate you, to bully you, to lie to you. If people risk their jobs and their livelihoods and even their lives to tell you the truth, they have been threatened. I know people who have sadly died trying to help us get vaccine vials so that we could identify the content. I know people that have lost their jobs, sadly, who have died by suicide because when they tried to speak out, their children were taken away from them. So this is where we are. But the solution of the World Doctors Alliance is to build a movement of true health, to build a community of doctors and nurses that will actually work with you under the rule of law and who will say that they will do their best for you, like in the Hippocratic Oath. Do no harm and do not give any treatment that is known to cause harm. It's very simple. And then the great news is, which they don't want you to hear, that you can step into your power and you can step into your health and you do not need to be afraid anymore, because if you get a seasonal flu, you can just make sure you have sunlight in the winter. It couldn't be simpler. The type of testing they should be doing is vitamin D testing, and there would be no need for any of this if the doctors made Nobel Prize hydroxychloroquine and the safest drug in the world that can be given to pregnant women, breastfeeding women, if you are 100. And these regulated, approved medications can save everyone. So there is no need to fear. So in the next years that we are building, especially in the next year, what you need to do is to say that you need to look after yourself in the next month or so. Make a program. And it's very simple because we are working on a program as well that will help now all of you to give you the information so that you will step into your power and be aware of the rule of law. But I need a little more time. So what I would like you to do in the next month is to look after your own mental health, to actually focus that the water that you drink is clean, to concentrate on the food that you're going to eat so that you can become healthy. Because we need you in a way to join my army, and we will train you. Okay? And in a way, you need to, identify that the people that are here today, they are really your brothers and sisters. I've been saying it all along, that we are our family. And when we meet, like I was very honored to be with John Smith this week, who is a hero in my eyes, and he has set up the Common Law Court. And I have reclaimed many years ago my Dolores Cahill as the living woman. And if I do anything in the commercial world, because as you know, I may be looking for or making my own job in a short period of time, that the way to get out of this, exactly as Elisa says, is for you to be healthy, for you to be of clear mind, for you to ensure that the water that you drink is clean. And of course, we will need you to be pushing back to the water sources to make sure it's clean under notice of liability. That the food that you eat is healthy, that it doesn't have glyphosate, it's not toxic, and that you learn to grow food, and that you learn to store food, and you learn to actually help your neighbors, okay? These are very simple things, because people say to me, what can I do? So you can look after yourself. I would also say, do not worry about your family, and I know that's hard. Do not worry, look after yourself first, because we need you, each of you, to take a leadership role. And if you can be happy, and you can be fearless, and you can be calm, that is a much better role model for them, because each of you are leaders now in the Dolores Army, okay? So we are free, we are one family. Come join me on the journey. Okay, so if you say to me, or you say to yourself, what can you do? You make yourself healthy, you make yourself strong, you get new friends, build a new family, learn a little bit more about nature, and try and grow food and appreciate the food that's there. But now it comes to something that I've been doing in the last week, and this is key to where we're going, okay? The key is that each of you has to understand the very basis of the rule of law, okay? The rule of law is very simple, and John Smith at commonlawcourt.com, you can find very simple information, and it is that you do not cause harm to anyone. You do not cause loss to anyone. You do not cause injury to anyone, and you are honorable in your dealings and your contract. So very simply, if you want to know the law, it's basically act in honor, do no harm, and everyone is accountable for their actions. And this is how you unravel the whole lockdown. Because if a doctor or a nurse injects a toxic ingredient into the arm of someone that's 90 years old, that has only toxic ingredients, is not necessary, and can cause them real harm, like the 26 people that died in Ballymoe. The person that is responsible is the person that pushes the needle in the person's skin. Yes. There is no indemnity. So under the rule of law, each person is accountable for their actions, and each man and woman is accountable for their actions, and each man and woman is accountable for their omissions. So I have been saying for a year, and it is true, vitamin D, hydroxychloroquine, and ivermectin can save everybody's lives, acts and hours, even if you are very close to death. So therefore, every single death in Ireland that is written down by the doctors and the coroners as COVID-19 is an unnecessary death. Yes. And the people that could have prevented those deaths are the doctor who did not give them life-saving treatment. If they died following an injection, it is the HSE worker who injected them. It is the coroner who did not investigate the deaths. It is the local person we pay as a policeman. And they are accountable. And what I am establishing is that you know that you are free, that we live under the rule of law, that every man and woman is accountable. And as you go up, the people that are accountable are the people who are making these guidelines about masks, social distancing, and that we cannot travel without a PCR test. We need to, and you can help me, is find who are the individuals writing those guidelines, because each of those people have to do a harm assessment. And if they have not done that, and they haven't shown that all of these things are of benefit, each of those people are responsible and liable in their private and personal capacity for the rest of their lives. So I would say the main people responsible are about 40 people. And under the rule of law, you have natural law, you have the rule of law, natural law, the common law. And as some of you may know, I am honored to have a national monument that I bought in 2019, September. And when I bought it, I said, that will be a new court, because I knew what was coming. And it is the rule of law is how we win this. So last Saturday, someone else held a common law court in my castle, White Castle Athy. And I was just there as an observer. But I was honored to be with John Smith in Scotland. We just came back this morning, and John Smith is working with the 2.5 million veterans, which I am, from last year. And we were on a training course in Scotland to train trainers, which I am now one of, who is a constable of the Common Law Court. And in the castle, well, it's going to take me a couple of months, we will be training people to be peace constables, right? So it's a very short training for people to know the rule of law and to ensure the rule of law and to ensure and keep the peace. So we will be peace constables. And the idea would be that if you are aware, or if you see our brothers and sisters who are involved in harming people, that we can come between the harm and the person causing harm. So it is my intention, and as you may know, I've been writing to Paul Gallagher as the living man, who is the Attorney General. And the key for all this is, if COVID-19 Act is law, it should be translated into, and it should be signed by and it should be enrolled in the office of the Supreme Court. Okay, so what do we have for something to be law in Ireland? Well, first of all, it has to be compliant with the Constitution that recognises our freedom of speech, freedom of travel, freedom of assembly, and all our inalienable rights and freedoms. Has to be translated into Irish, signed by the President, and enrolled in the office of the Supreme Court. And if it is not, it's not law. So can you see there's a theme here, right? The law and the rule of law is how we fight back. And in our inalienable, in our ancient laws, which is like Brehon law and the ancient law of the Irish people, also enshrined in Article 34.1 of the Constitution, every man and woman are equal under the law. So the President is equal under the law, Dolores Cahill is equal, Paul Gallagher, the Attorney General, the Chair of the National Immunisation Advisory Committee, and all of the ministers and the civil servants. So since March, I've been writing, very honoured, with people like Ross Kane and Elisa Keane, to the Attorney General to ask them, please produce the evidence. Is this COVID-19 Act? And he did not reply. But you know, we are his masters and you are his masters. They don't think he is a public servant and he is obliged under the law to answer, which he did not. So we don't pay people to not answer. We are telling him now. So about 3 weeks ago, I wrote to the President and the Prime Minister and Paul Gallagher and the lady who's made the recommendation that pregnant women should be injected with this mRNA injection, which is outrageous. I did get an acknowledgement from Paul Gallagher, but what we will be doing is writing to him, and the plan is to say, Paul, and you can all write to him, he's the Attorney General, the Office of the Attorney General, show us the COVID-19 Act in Irish, and if he doesn't, it seems to me that he is not doing his job. And if you are not doing your job, you will be fired. So just to finish off, so I have decided, amazingly, in my constituency in Ranelagh, and I did actually spend some hours seeking for guidance this morning, someone very kindly resigned his TD as the TD, and I live in Dublin 6, and I've spent 20 years living in Ringsend, in Irishtown, in Ranelagh, and I have decided that there is an election coming on the 8th of July, and I have decided, I have to start my campaign now. I will be looking for you to So I think it would be really powerful if you know people that can stand, say to them, please go for election, guys, so that if I get elected, I can go into Dáil and I can ask the Minister for Health and Health questions. To say, we are one family, we are free. Come join me on the journey and get me elected. Thank you very much.
Get them forward there to run for the thank you. Oh, thank you. Ben, will you step forward there and say a few words?
Go on, Ben. Go on, Ben.
Nice to see you again.
First of all, I want to wish the Lord every success in the campaign. Because we need people who stand up for our rights. I think out of about 166 TDs, I can name on one hand people that stand up for our rights. Everybody else is happy to stick their nose in the trough and feed from the billionaire pot once they're trampling on our rights. So before I start, I just want to say that I have put on my sun cream so all of you people are protected. That's how a nice guy I am. Now, I want to say that it's great to be here at a landmark where our freedoms were fought for and the GPO, but it's alarming and a bit strange that we also stand at one of the biggest hypodermic needles in the world, which is a little bit odd. Maybe they were planning something long ago. Before I start, look, it's great that so many people turned out, and it's great that Dolores talks about the rule of law and everything else. But unfortunately, the rule of law will be ignored in this country because the court system is rotten, the judges are rotten, the Gardaí obey and do what they're told by the rotten elite, and that's why we are where we are today. And remember, we got to make hay when the sun shines, because come the winter, I have a feeling there's going to be another lockdown, another variant, a Delta, or an Echo, or a Foxtrot, or a Charlie. But whatever it is, it's coming. And the problem is, when the Gardaí batten people for exercising their rights of free assembly, we have a difficulty then. So we need to get smart, and we need to get smart now. So folks, I'm here today just as a director of the Make Change Happen app. And I suggest everybody get onto that, because remember, come the winter months, we will need to be communicating with people and supporting everybody without the Facebook Nazi censorship that we have seen over the last number of years. Our mission is to raise community awareness and consensus among people from the left, centre and right on natural rights, social equality, green living for positive change, lawfully and peacefully. We need to advocate for free speech, protection of civil liberties, anti-racism, anti-homophobia, and free from far left and far right divisiveness. Most important, and remember, by the way, that divisiveness is set up by them. So we fight against each other, just so we're all aware.
Divide and conquer.
Most importantly, Make Change Happen is about you. It's not about me, it's about you people. And it's also about helping people work together, better on what we agree, rather than concentrating on what we disagree on. A better quality of life for all, in balance and respect for each other's values and inalienable rights. We've already delivered the Make Change Happen app to bypass censorship and to bring about the following big solutions. Please, if you haven't download it now, and let's all join in making change happen, because what Dolores speaks about is great, but come the winter months, you know, we have to have a platform for us all together. As recognition and desire and the right of all people to live, work and thrive in a safe, modern, dignified manner, the call to unity and action to defend our natural rights has rung out across many nations. And I just want to show a bit of support for all our friends and right-mind thinking people all over Europe and Poland and Holland and all places, and especially our friends in London as well, who come out in huge droves. So let's give them a round of applause. So please support them. And I believe this solution is for all those people as well, because we are all fighting the same tyranny. We no longer shall accept cold, cruel bureaucracy and an ever-growing tyranny as a legitimate reason to use force against those defending constitutionally recognised inalienable rights. I've seen even Gardaí batten elderly women here before when they were just coming out to protest. No longer will we tolerate corruption, cronyism, political deception, and above all, authoritarianism. No longer will we allow our people to suffer for want on this island of plenty. In deference to all of the above, we insist action be taken to deliver the following objectives to achieve positive change that is lawful and peaceful in these unprecedented times. I'm going to say these now in no particular order, but there's 14 objectives that we would like to achieve through people like Dolores and the Make Change Happen app, you know, so everybody can come together. Because remember, the winter doesn't belong coming, another lockdown is coming, and the Gardaí, irrespective of what you think your rights are, will enforce and stop us assembling. So we need to act and act now. So number one, the implementation of citizens-initiated referendum, similar to that in Switzerland. It is the people of Ireland who decide what's best for them, not billionaires, politicians or unelected bureaucrats. We also need to reform the Senate as a new citizens' assembly for independents only, electing 3 representatives per county, limited to 3-year terms. We need a restructure of the HSE by decentralising it from an expensive, top-heavy management model over to a frontline, well-funded local model centred on the quality of actual patient care. For first-time buyers, we need to create regional, non-profit housing boards free from political interference to create both social and private building society projects, utilising a public bank and financing structure similar to Germany. We need to order the central bank to recognise monthly rent payments as qualified means to afford a house loan. And we need to regulate against vulture funds and cuckoo funds operating in Ireland. And as part of that, we also need a prohibition on elected representatives who are housing landlords and beneficiaries from voting on housing legislation. Number 6, and this is important as well into what Dolores was talking about, and without it, we can't move forward. We need to restructure the Law Society and the Bar Council of Ireland, placing them under full control of a reformed Senate, disband the King's Inn to the end the elite monopoly of the Irish legal system, and that must happen. The reformed Senate that I speak about should appoint the new judges focused on constitutional rights to be sworn in by the President, limited to 7-year term. We need to ban any politician judge, civil servant and Garda from being a member of any societies or groups looking to influence any element of the state. And you know who they are. We need to create an independent office of constitutional enforcement. That's a new office that needs to be set up to enforce constitutional rights and to prosecute and remove any elected politician, judge, civil servant, Garda or business who violates the Irish Constitution. We need to ban political parties from whipping TD votes like Fine Gael, Fianna Fáil and Sinn Féin and who do that political whipping. Only constituents should tell TDs how to vote, not elites, not vested interests and not billionaires. We also need to ban all private donations to political parties and candidates and create and install a public funded mechanism to support political candidates prior to an election. We also call for constitutional protection of all Ireland's natural resources against privatisation of any form, and particularly our water, forests, oil and gas reserves. This is number 13, now we've only 14, so not too bad. 13, I'm looking for some. We need to abolish the household charge, property taxes, TV licence. Especially the TV licence, we've had a look at that. And any kind of water charge as a Trojan horse, whatever guise it may come under. And finally, but certainly not the least, ban all and any forms of unconstitutional lockdowns, mandatory vaccinations, and police state tyranny. And we have to absolutely stop any medical apartheid in this country. There will be no two-tier system for people who choose to get vaccinated and those who don't. And there will be no ban on travel because you cannot discriminate in this country and it is a criminal offence to coerce anybody as well. Now the real question is, how do we do this? It's okay to be talking about it. How do we do it? So I stand before you today with the answer. We must, and look, I want to support Dolores in the by-election. That is the way forward. Because irrespective of what we do, or that many people come up and talk on a microphone, this has to be changed politically. So what we must do, and we will set out to do through the Make Change Happen app, is to elect 40 candidates in the next general election. And they will sign up to these principles. And other than that, nobody vote for them. Now I recognise how big a task this is, but we have no choice but to win. We are living in polarising times, and change is coming, and change is inevitable. So let that change start here and now. To achieve our objectives, we must find and back one independent candidate in each of the 40 constituencies in the Republic of Ireland. It surely can't be that hard to do. I mean, if we had people like, McGrath and a few other politicians who stand up for our rights, we only need to find 30 odd more. So it can't be that difficult, surely, in Ireland, to get one honourable person who stand up like Dolores, who stand up and that you can trust and will fight for our rights. This also is not self-promotion. I myself will not be running. However, I will use my election experience to help where it may. I think I would be better in the background, kicking the shit out of anybody who goes against what we want. So look, folks, we know trouble is coming. We know it's coming. Get prepared for it. We need to be smart. I'm asking all the people across Europe and in London to get smart too. Elections will come. We will get our people in there. And that's why I won't be running, because in Ireland we need someone in the background to just drag someone out of it that promised the people something and then turned their back. And that's why we need the initiated referendum as well. So if somebody does it or somebody goes against the people, we simply call a referendum and take it out and change it back. Remember, we had it in our first two constitutions. In the last one, they took it out. Remember that. The elite took it out. And they said, we hold the right of referendum. They never had it to hold in the first place. It belonged to us because of the good people that stood here in 1916. So remember that, folks. So look, a big thank you to you all and to everybody all across the world. And thank you all. Well done. Well done. Thank you.
Thanks everybody. Just to let you know, we have a Facebook page. There's 62,000 people on it now at the moment, so keep sharing it out, share its content, like, comment, share. And we also have a GoFundMe page, which pays for these banners, the speakers, leaflets and all that kind of stuff. So price of a cup of coffee or whatever, if you can please donate. Also look out for the next protest, which is 24th of July, Preston's House at 2 o'clock. Okay, thanks very much. Thursday.
Dobrze, kochani, kończymy. Bateria i tak mi pada, także to już jest koniec protestu. Następny protest jest 25 Julaj, czyli lipiec dopiero za miesiąc, także tu nic się nie będzie odbywać w międzyczasie. Tak jak myślałem zresztą. Także kochani, muszę kończyć. Robert Lipiński z Action COVID 1984. Serdecznie wszystkim pozdrawiam i życzę wszystkiego dobrego i walczymy dalej i wygramy. Dziękuję, do widzenia wszystkim. Kończę, bateria pada.
Stop the economy and disallow other opinions, disregard people's ability to basically, run a business. I'm sure it's been the same, people have been economically hit very hard, especially in Germany. So right now it's getting better. Yeah, but the next question is, do you actually need a vaccine? I mean, flu, there's a flu vaccine that has been in existence for like, I don't know, decades of years. It's been voluntary. Nobody needed to go get it, despite the fact that 20,000 people die every single year from flu in Germany alone. Now they said, oh, check out this coronavirus, so much more contagious, so much more